entering the slot machine and finding yourself inevitably sliding along the pathways that were there, with no options, or very few options. Very few options. She was very determined that things could be changed.
I have very ambivalent feelings towards the drugs I take. I complain about them, and I get very angry with the side effects I have, and yet I would not consider not taking them. And though I may gripe about them, I'm thankful for what they've done for me, and I am also grateful that there's something that I have that can keep me alive, prevent the leukemia from coming back. Last fall, because of some medication I'd taken, I had some internal bleeding, and there was one day that it got really bad, and I even thought that I might die because I was bleeding so much, and I was on the verge of passing out, and it was kind of really hard. But my mom was there, and I just said to her, if I die, it won't hurt anymore, and I won't have to be scared. And she said, it's okay, do what you have to do. And it was just a really good feeling. It made me think that if I did die, I would die in peace, and that was the main thing. And she would accept whatever I needed to do.
With her, it was helpful if she gave you permission.
Well, I guess when it's your mother, you get used to asking for permission in a way.
Right.
And it's also part because, it means a lot to them, whether you live or whether you die. And when you come to the point whether you ask yourself whether you really want to hang on any longer, you consider what effect it would have on other people.
Could you describe a little bit about any of the effects that the actual process of going through these difficult treatments has had on the way that you feel?
It's kind of an affront in a way. You know they have to do it, but it seems very impersonal, and it doesn't seem to have much to do with your own feelings.
So one of the defenses is looking at the mechanics of the treatment, the mechanics of whatever they're doing.
Yeah, in a way that's sort of like working in your mind, and in a way it's sort of like you're thinking, by looking at these, I am assisting them. I am willing them to go right and not to take a long time. So with bone marrow, you often find the leukemia before it's affected the way you feel. That's always been the case with me. I don't know what it feels like to have the leukemia. I've had bone marrows when I've relapsed. I go straight in and get the therapy, and then I get in remission, and all the blasts are wiped out before I ever feel the effects of the leukemia. That's just been my experience, though. That's why bone marrows are good, because you can get them before they start really messing up your blood system.
The physician then draws back, and you will see blood from the marrow come back into the syringe. And this is your bone marrow specimen. During these few seconds, when he draws a couple of cc's of blood from the heparin, there's an excruciating pain, and this we cannot anesthetize. Nothing outside of general anesthesia has been devised to date. Now this is called the Jamshidi needle, and the difference in the two is they may remove this and aspirate. Also, they can get a biopsy. So in the patient feels almost like a screwing sensation, and the physician will go down and actually a screwing motion. And then we'll draw up, push through with the other end, and in will come forth a piece of the bone from within the marrow.
So what did you think of those medical ethics rounds?
They're pretty interesting.
Good. How's school going?
Yeah.
Yeah? What's the best course? Are you a junior?
Yeah. The best course? English, I guess.
What are you doing?
Right now we're doing the Greeks. So I know from my own experience, and I'm getting these treatments, often my mother or a doctor will bring up some kind of topic to try and distract me.
Right.
But usually I end up getting very frustrated that they're talking to me because I can't go out of myself. I'm being brought back into myself and forced to relate to the topic they've chosen.
Right.
And it's harder to, forget. It's like, it's hard enough to do it by yourself, but when you have to relate to other people too, it's a little more difficult.
This is the painful aspiration, all right? Now this is
That's the regular one.
regular, okay? Just wait a minute and see what we have there.
It's done. Okay.
Sure do a job.
Looks good, Fred. Beautiful. Slides from what was in the end of the needle. But the biopsy is really good. It's just that that won't give us any results today.
Can't have any more.
Hmm?
Can't have any more.
Can't have any more?
Can't have any more. No, we're fine. We have enough.
It's a good thing.
Right. Okay, let me go through the rest of the visit. If you're up to it.
You want to get
Slow and kind of good. Anything to it. It's one of those complaints that it doesn't fit with anything, so unless it becomes persistent, I would just pull fingers and push it like that.
It didn't seem to be associated with her having had any pressure on her or anything, so I was just wondering.
The hardest thing to do today, huh? Okay. I need, no, I don't need you, but I'm going to be back with the stethoscope and something to look in your throat and stuff, okay? Almost done.
Just the top broke.
Yes.
That was the bottom of the biopsy in it.
Well, it might be savable.
It is.
Where is
The
it?
whole
Oh,
thing is just
what fell?
the cover. The whole
The cover broke.
Okay. I was afraid to come in.
From the start, it was perfectly standard. She had an acute lymphoblastic leukemia. She went into prompt remission on the usual induction therapy. And then she had a relatively early relapse. So up to that point, she was not behaving biologically very differently from most of the leukemic children who were diagnosed around that period. It was after the first relapse that things began to change. Her second remission was extraordinarily long, and it was so long that we began to hope that she might have an ultimate survival, even though it was well known that children who relapsed did not. When she relapsed again, we became very uncertain as to what expectations there would be. But when she had the last long remission of her lymphoblastic leukemia, again, we entertained the hopes that perhaps she would be a very exceptional patient and survive this.
Well, I guess I've thought a lot about, since David and I got divorced, whether the illness played a part or how big a part it played. And of course, clearly there's no way of sorting all the pieces out. But I think more than anything else, he and I were enormously different people right from the beginning. And I suppose it's possible that we could have had more time to work on the differences.
The time that I got the stomach virus and Dad brought me to the hospital, even though Mom and Dad were already divorced, they both worked together to help me.
How did that feel when that happened?
Nice.
What are you feeling now that's making you a little sad?
Things are so different now.